And happy Thursday, September 14th, 2023, and welcome to a brand new edition of what we like to call the Clash of Le Champions. I'm your host, the vegan you believe in, Kirk Cadet, in the flesh as always, and this man needs no introduction, but he's going to give you one anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is tag team partner Jonathan Randall, the adventurer himself. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our wrestling podcast. And you could follow the Clash of Champions podcast on our social media networks on Instagram at thechamps.clash and on Twitter at thechampsclash on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. Give us a follow and we'll keep you updated on the news. And that's what we're about to give you here today. News, so much news as always.
Yes, and we're going to start it off today by talking about what happened this past Tuesday as the merger between WWE and Endeavor was made official, as they officially closed. And now that the two companies are coming together, they're going to be going under the name of TKO.
Yeah, I saw that. Because they merged together just like that under one, right?
Yeah, so like now that they're
Or
merged together, they're going to go under the name TKO. So they're still WWE and UFC separately, but as a joint company together, they're known as TKO.
oh, okay. But yeah, I saw the pictures and all that stuff. Everybody was there, celebrating and all that stuff. Um, it is a little bit of a bad news for Triple H because I mean he still has like creative control though, but at the same time, like he's really not like in control, so to speak.
He's still head of creative, but the only thing is Vince is like the executive chairman, so Vince can make changes to creative and all that kind of jazz. He can still butt in that way.
Ah, man. Yeah, that sucks. But what do you think about it though? I mean, we all knew, about this was going to happen. We were aware of this months ago, but it's officially has happened. Now there are some fans out there speculating now. How would this affect TV deals as far as I guess with NBC? Now we know that the WWE still has about a few years left under the contract with NBC. How will this affect, especially with their streaming device with Peacock? So there's a lot that plays into this.
Yes, there is. WWE's TV rights deals are up next year, and apparently, I've been hearing for a while that that Fox might not want to renew with them.
Mm. Do you think that if changes are made, do you think that WWE will go back to that pay-per-view format?
What do you mean as far as having to pay $50 for a pay per view?
Yeah, instead of like having it on streaming, because you got to remember, UFC doesn't do that. They still have it where you have to, you know, pay a certain amount to watch, a big UFC event pay per view.
Yeah, they do, but I think even if this does happen, it's not going to happen for a couple years because WWE still has a deal with Peacock.
Yeah, yeah, true though. I'm talking about afterwards though, because we don't know what's going to happen. That's the thing though. But I'm just saying, speaking long term. I mean, do you see them doing that?
I don't know. It could happen. I was hearing something about them possibly moving their pay per views back to Sundays.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
I honestly wouldn't mind that so much. I kind of miss them on Sundays.
No, I wouldn't mind it either, because like I made a mistake last week and I said Sunday instead of Saturday because I lose track of myself because we're so used to, that traditional, standard where a pay per view was on a Sunday. And then also you got to remember UFC their shows are on Saturdays. So with this merger, I kind of see where they're coming from when you just told me that they may go back to Sundays.
Yeah, a lot of it is kind of like all up in the air, and there's going to be a bunch of releases and layoffs starting tomorrow for WWE because of the merger. Not so much talent, but more like, employees, like office employees.
I see what you mean. I also heard about that they may do slight changes to their championships.
Yeah, I saw something about that yesterday. Yeah, I mean, anything can happen with this whole merger. It could lead to anything. But as far as the show goes, every week I'm not expecting it to become, TV 14 again, or like there to be like blood in the matches again. But yeah, this is interesting. I also heard that Vince was offered to buy UFC like in 2002, but he didn't want to. He didn't think like it was worth it. But
Over 2 million, right?
yeah,
Shane wanted to buy, but he didn't want him.
yeah, but then according to Nick Khan, like when they went to the UFC show last year, like in Vegas after Money in the Bank, that's what started to get him curious about maybe doing the merger.
Really? Hmm.
Like that's where it all started. Is like when they went to that UFC fight last year.
Hey, man, those UFC as dude, like I'm really surprised and really proud of how far they came because they've been doing this for 30 years. And guys, UFC was not always like this when they first started. I remember watching bits and pieces of UFC when it first started during the 90s. It was nowhere near the level that they're at now with popularity. It was very, a lot of people saw it as a joke and, oh, it's a blood sport. And it wasn't as popular as it is now. But I'm just surprised of how long it maintained its status and was able to be popular. Even it's to the point where it's more popular than boxing. Like boxing has its hit and misses now, you know what I mean? But now it's like UFC is just it's more like, oh, there's always like every other month there's always like a big fight no matter what weight class, whether it's a men are fighting or women are fighting. People are just very gravitated to this sport, and I'm proud of it, of how far they came.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when it first started, the '95 I think is when I first heard of it. I would like see commercials for it on TV, and yeah,
Mm.
it really has come a long way. I would say like it really started to pop off like towards like the late 2000s,
Yeah, yeah,
and I would say from that point
yeah.
on, it's been mad popping.
It is, and to the point where I'm like, damn, like any of these fighters, man, they're not just fighters. They have like personality, they have that charisma. Like Connor McDavid, no, Connor McGregor. Sorry, I don't know what I say McDavid. I'm getting mixed up with hockey. No, Connor McGregor is a prime example. He has that it factor, man. Like, and it's to the point where, like, damn, I wish he would, be part of a WrestleMania. Hopefully, I'm not leaving it out. There's a good chance he may participate in WrestleMania. I would love to see that. I would, my God, that would be amazing. You know what I mean? So, all these fighters, man, have so much personality. I mean, you look at Ronda Rousey, she started in UFC, and then, there's just been so many people that made that back and forth between that and WWE. We start with Ken Shamrock. We talk about Ronda Rousey, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, so amazing.
Yeah, I would have never thought WWE and UFC would actually merge together. I know people would kind of laugh at the fact that WWE would be compared to UFC because of how different they are, and how like one's a real sport and one's quote unquote not a real sport. And what do you know?
It is
Now both
entertaining.
companies. Yeah, but what do you know? Now both companies are together.
Yeah, it is entertaining, and hey, they pull you in. They pull you in. Like I said, the fighters have a personality, just like in wrestling. You have to have a personality to gravitate to your audience.
The only thing I'm worried about with this whole merger thing is like we talked about a few minutes ago, Vince like kind of like sticking his nose in the creative and like messing everything up and making everything whack again.
I don't know, man. I thought I was under the impression that he wasn't really going to be in much of control as he once was.
Yeah, because I remember like the day after WrestleMania, this whole thing was announced. The whole like merger was announced, and then that Raw after WrestleMania was like the one that got a lot of bad reviews. That like Vince apparently like screwed up the whole show and like messed everything up. I'm like just
Mm.
hoping that things like that don't happen more often going forward. Really hope they don't.
We just gotta hope that for the best. That's all I got to say. So,
Yeah, and when they like finally rang the bell at the New York Stock Exchange, they actually had Bianca Belair and Montez Ford there too.
oh really? Oh yeah, I think I saw that. I remember seeing Montez Ford over there.
Yeah, they were both there. They were at the VMAs and they were also at New York Fashion Week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I guess she's enjoying her time off very much.
That's good. She needs to take advantage of it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when she gets back. But this past Monday on Raw, we had a main event between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez for the women's world title. And as the match was going on, we were greeted by the return of Nia Jax, who attacked Raquel Rodriguez outside the ring and then pushed her inside and let Rhea Ripley take advantage and retain. But after the match, she also attacked Rhea Ripley and hit her with a banzai drop.
Right. Homage to Yokozuna. And just a shocking ending, man. It looked like Raquel Rodriguez was going to win the title and have the match won. But as she was outside the ring, she gets attacked by Nia Jax. And damn, what a shocker. Oh, and look, I'm going to go on a limb here. The reaction's been 50-50. Some people are, no, I don't want her back. I don't care. There's some that are actually happy. And I'm going to say I'm happy that she's back. It brings more attention to the world, to the women's world title picture. It puts more of an emphasis on the title and more, credibility on Rhea Ripley's part. Like now you're giving more for her to tangle with now. And I love it. And I know moving forward, the fact that Nia Jax costs Raquel the title, I know for the fact that it's going to be a triple threat between the three. And I love it.
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, my thing with Nia Jax is that I'm not mad that she's back, but I'm not jumping for joy that she's back either. I'm just kind of like, cool, it's fine.
I'm happy. I'm glad she's back.
Yeah, like I never had a problem with her. Like back in her like first run, I never had a problem with her. But I was like just never like a hardcore fan of hers like that.
I mean, I was a fan for her because I was really happy for her when she won the women's title at WrestleMania
Yeah, that was a nice.
like 5 years ago.
Yeah, that was a nice moment. I liked it. But like, yeah, some people were kind of yeah. There's been like a lot of fans online kind of upset about the fact that she's back because of like her reputation, because of her reputation about injuring people and hurting people. And actually, Asuka took a fan to task about this the other day online because a fan was pointing out the time that Kyrie Zane got injured in a match with her, and like pointing out how like irresponsible it is to bring her back. And Asuka just went off on this person. She fucking went off on them.
Wow. Mm.
Yes, Asuka was really close with her.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really know what stuff is going on, man. And you got to remember, we have no say sometimes. Sometimes we don't have no say because like we're not in the ring taking these bumps and putting our bodies on the line to entertain the fans, So that's where I'm kind of like, look, I understand that what she did, and look, mistakes happen, stuff happens, people get hurt in sports. That what happens, you know what I mean? But who are we to judge if we're not in their position, if we're not doing what they're doing?
Yeah, my stance on that whole thing was that it's not for us to say whether or not she's unsafe and dangerous to be in the ring with. It's for the girls she works with to say that. Like, if Bailey has a problem with her, or Sasha had a problem with her, or Charlotte had a problem with her, or Becky had a problem with her, then that's fair. They have every right to because they're the ones who have to be in the ring with her.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what I'm saying. If the other girls don't like working with her and whatnot, then there's some, credibility to that and all that good stuff.
See? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it. I figured she was coming back eventually after that cameo she made at the Royal Rumble earlier this year. So I figured that she would be back sooner or later, and looks like she's back now.
I didn't. I blew it off. I thought it was like a one thing deal because we always see that at the Royal Rumble. There's always somebody make that one time appearance all the time, and you're like, oh, okay, that's it. You know what I mean? So when I saw that, I was kind of like, cool, but I just like, okay, you know what I mean? But then again, I remember she was training for a while, and I was kind of like, oh, I was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw her training also, and I was like hearing her say that she was eventually going to come back. So I kind of wasn't surprised to see her back. I didn't expect it to be then, but it is what it is. So we'll see what happens with this.
It's a surprising appearance, though. Surprising return. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, it was surprising on a show, on our Monday Night Raw show that honestly didn't have a lot of excitement with a few exceptions.
The show was in Norfolk. I just found that out. That was in Virginia. So I was like, dope. I wonder if my friend went.
Yeah, looks like they're building towards Fastlane, and I
Yeah.
did like Gunther's Intercontinental title record celebration. That was pretty
Oh
fun.
yeah, that was dope. That was dope. I like that.
The Drip General, that's what they called him, the Drip General.
I just like his whole presentation of it. Like I love how you had the two pillars one on each side, and that was just dope. I think I'm just he needs to have like a very grand just entrance for next year's WrestleMania. I hope he does something similar to that, but a little more on a upscale, upgraded version though.
Yeah, I think he will, especially if he's going to probably be in the title match. And Chad Gable did interrupt his celebration and told him that
Of
someday, one
course.
of these days, he's going to take that title from him
Oh,
and make his little girl feel better.
yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be at Fastlane, but I think eventually Chad Gable will be the person to take the belt from him. If not Fastlane, maybe the Royal Rumble.
True. True.
Yeah, Gunther could end up losing the title to Chad Gable, then he can go into the Royal Rumble later that night and win it.
Mm-hmm. I can see that happen.
Yeah, and also on Tuesday night on NXT, Becky Lynch defeated Tiffany Stratton to win the NXT Women's title.
Yeah, and they just got into it like with each other the night before, and I was kind of like, huh. And then they have a match the next night, and I was surprised because I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. I looked on my phone. And I was like, what? She had a title match, and she won. Kurt, what do you think about this?
It was cool. I like it. That's the only belt she's never won, so now she's a Grand Slam champion.
That is true.
Yeah, when she was in NXT initially, she was the only one out of the four horsewomen to never be the women's champion.
Yeah, that is true. That is a good point.
And now her and Rollins are the very first couple to both be Grand Slam champions.
Wow.
Who would have ever thought we'd see this?
Never. I just. I mean, that is this is the perfect. I think it was like the perfect two to do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I would never seen that coming though. But
Yeah, I'm not sure how long she's gonna keep it, but it's crazy now. There's at least two people from the main roster now that have NXT titles,
right.
being her and Dominic.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard the ratings were really good for her being on the show too. The ratings were up significant percentage.
Oh, for that night. For now. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
yeah. Becky is a needle mover, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the match was good too. The match was solid. Yeah, but it was cool to see her win the women's title. We'll see how it goes from here. And also, it came out yesterday that AEW's All In actually did not do 81,000 like they said they did. According to the local government, the numbers registered for the people entering Wembley Stadium that night through the turnstiles was 72,265.
That's a little bit of a bummer, but you got to remember something is really not a surprise because you got to remember most, well, a lot of stadium shows, whether if it's this WWE, they always, for some reason, are always making a miscalculation with their attendance numbers. It always happens. I remember they made that mistake with WrestleMania 32 in Dallas back in 2016. Then there's that infamous, rumor about was the attendance record for WrestleMania 3. Was that really true? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they always make up the numbers. I mean, look, regardless of what the actual attendance was, it's still an impressive sight to see. And also
Oh yeah, and
72.
that was their very first big stadium show. Come on, at Wembley Stadium, when everybody was doubting that, oh, they're not going to fill up, but they did fill up. So it is what it is.
Yeah, 72,000 people for them is still a good number. I mean, I don't think they needed to lie about it, but whatever, it is what it is.
I mean, I don't see that as lying. It's a miscalculation. This stuff like that always happens. It always happens. Like we've seen it in WWE so many times. They're always, oh, like it was this many, and then it turns out like, well, actually, it was this number. So it's technically not lying. It's just that somebody made a mistake. It was miscalculation. With so many people, that's a lot.
WWE was always notorious for making up those numbers, saying the number was bigger than it really was.
For fault, like just on purpose.
Yeah, just to make it look like a bigger attendance than it actually was. Yeah, they would always do that shit.
So do you really think what they said was true about WrestleMania 3? Do you really think that was like the true attendance record, or were they just doing that just to make it up? Because there was that story.
I mean, look, I wasn't there. I don't know. All I know is there were a lot of freaking people in that place that
Right.
day.
I mean, that's all that matters. So I don't know why people make a big deal about
Whether it
it.
was 78,000, 93,000, 100,000, whatever it was, there were still a lot of people regardless. At the end of the day, the number doesn't really matter to me.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, did you see that meme online talking about the difference between WWE's business and AEW's business right now? How like
Yeah, I saw that. On how after WrestleMania, it's like their numbers have just went up, and just in everything in sales, attendance, and all that stuff. And then AEW after All In, it kind of just their numbers kind of just went like a little bit downhill. Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, that and also the CM Punk drama and all that. It's also like putting a dark cloud over them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and other AEW news, it came out today that Jade Cargill is more than likely going to be leaving AEW and heading to WWE.
Yeah. Wow. And I thought she had said that she would not want to go there, but I mean, you never say never, right? Or did she say that?
Yeah, I heard her say that before because of her daughter. She knew that going to WWE she would be on the road so much and like be away from her for a lot of the time,
Mm,
so she never wanted to go there.
hmm.
But I don't know if maybe things changed or maybe she might be going to NXT if she does go to WWE. But we'll see. She did come back last Saturday on Collision. She returned. I was like happy to see her. I'm like, oh shit, Jade's back. That's what's up. And then she did the match with Chris Statlander last night on the Rampage taping and she lost. So I don't know if that was her last match or if she's going to be doing another match or whatever is going on. But if she does end up showing up in WWE, that will be pretty interesting.
It would. I would love it. That would be crazy. And man, like she comes to WWE, dude. Like that would be so perfect if she did, worked with Bianca Belair.
That probably wouldn't happen right away. It shouldn't happen right away. And I
Why?
think it's not something you need to rush into. It's not something you need to do right away. It's got to take your time with it.
Oh, so just like build her up a little bit and then, put her in a feud.
Exactly. That and also I think for her the performance center in NXT would be good for her. I think that would do her a lot of good to be there for a
Also
while.
start off over there first.
She's still like only been wrestling for 2 years and she still like has in a sense a lot to learn in that department. So I think like being in a place like the performance center would do her a lot of good.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, like it would help her get her ring skills up and all that jazz. Yeah, like the performance
Right.
there's a reason why the performance center is there. There's a reason why that place exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I say like if she does go to WWE, then I think she should go to NXT first. That probably would be the best. And also, if she goes to NXT, she won't like be on the same like travel schedule and all that jazz. So
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, because you'll be just
yeah,
put in Orlando for the time being
and
while you're
Orlando
there.
and Orlando's only an hour flight away from Atlanta.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I liked her run in AEW. I like the whole baddie section shit she had, and also her run as TBS champion. And I will be honest, that belt does not feel as special now that she doesn't have it anymore.
Mm, damn.
I know she's not the best wrestler, and obviously because she's not that experienced. What she may lack in like her wrestling skills, she more than makes up for in character and presence.
Yes. Oh, yes. Especially presence wise. Oh my God. Huh.
And sometimes that stuff is more important than being good in the ring.
It's 50-50 in sense. You have to have balance.
Yeah, it's
You
important,
have
don't get me
you
wrong,
have to have
but
some
it's
balance. I wouldn't say it's more important. It's you have to weigh it out a little bit. That's like saying how you're very good in the ring, but when it comes to character development, mic skills, it's not there. And that's not going to reach out to your crowd. So you have to have a balance.
yeah, of course you do, but I'm saying that sometimes having that ring that presence and having that, personality and all that, it gets you further than having in ring skills does.
Yeah, at times, yeah.
Yeah, even with music, there's a lot of rappers who aren't the best rappers per se, but they have other things about them that that are appealing and that people like.
Really. So, like for example, like Drake, as much as talented that he is, the fact that he is a ambassador for the Toronto Raptors, right? Would that be an example?
I would say somebody like Future. Future, I'll be honest, I've never been a fan of. I've never liked his music at all. But for whatever reason, there's just something about him that people like and people gravitate towards. And it's not my cup of tea, but if other people like him, that's their prerogative. Also, like the Yin Yang Twins back in the day, people like that, they weren't the best rappers. And Lil Jon was never a good rapper, but the dude was entertaining, got people hyped up, and that shit goes a long way.
They put out a few hits. They put out a few hits that people still bump to this day. I can't believe it's been 20 years since their song "Get Low." It's been like, damn, it's been that long.
Also, fucking Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy is probably a prime example of that.
True. I mean, I really don't care. I never really cared about the song though, but it's a song that you play that in a club, everybody's gonna be dancing to that. Crank that Soldier Boy, like, yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't like it either, but people were into that shit and people liked it, and it made them a lot of money.
right.
And
Hmm.
that's why I say sometimes, having that presence, having that personality, and having that shit that people gravitate towards is more important. Sometimes get you further than actually having, the certain talents.
Right.
Nah, but if she ends up going to WWE, if it ends up happening, it's gonna be a huge plus for their roster, hands down, a huge plus for their roster.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I agree. I
I
agree.
think her and Bianca is a dream match, but with dream matches, you can't rush them. Like if they did the Shield and the Wyatts like that match, like right away when they first came to the main roster, it wouldn't have meant as much.
No, no, you're right.
Yeah, so they got to take their time, and we'll see if it even happens. This is all just hearsay, but we'll see if it even happens. She could end up even staying in AEW, but only time will tell. But also, it came out this week that the Royal Rumble will be taking place January 27th at Tropicana Field in Tampa.
Yeah, home of the Tampa Bay Rays. I heard. Wasn't it there in 2021?
WrestleMania was in the Buccaneer Stadium that year.
No, 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 no. I'm talking about Royal Rumble.
In 2021, Royal Rumble was at the Thunderdome.
Okay, right.
I remember the Thunderdome being in Tampa. I'm not sure what place exactly, but I remember the Thunderdome being in Tampa.
So we'll be there. Tropicana Field. Yeah, I'm familiar about that place. Baseball stadium.
Yeah, I'll be dope. I'm thinking of maybe going. If I don't go to WrestleMania, maybe I'll go to that instead.
You should.
Never been to a Royal Rumble.
Wait a minute. Actually, Kurt, I'm looking it up right now. It was the Thunderdome was at Tropicana Field 3 years
Oh,
ago,
okay.
2021, the Royal Rumble.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of like, wait, weren't they there like about 3 years ago? I was like, I know I'm not, tripping or anything like that, but yeah, okay. But yeah, but this time, I mean, there will be fans this time though. But yeah, so cool.
Yeah, it's a good look, and we'll see what things are looking like come Royal Rumble season. I'm sure it'll be popping as it usually always is. And also,
Mhm.
one person who probably won't be at the Royal Rumble from what's coming out now is Edge, as he was removed from WWE's internal roster, and there's a lot of belief going around that he is AEW bound.
Yeah, so just, I mean, kind of similar to Jade Cargill, like with Edge, now it's like very speculated. It's like, okay, I think he's gonna go. They're not just gonna remove you from the roster just for any other reason, Kurt. So if he still has it in him to compete, then best chances are he's gonna go there.
I could see the biggest reason why he would want to go there is to work with Christian.
No, okay, one last time before it's like he said it's over. I see what you mean.
Yeah, because Christian's been killing it with his heel persona the last few months, like really digging into people's dead fathers and shit. Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck.
Oh my god, dude. He's just been like every time he just like poking at it, poking. I'm like, damn, he's just so much further. But he's doing a good job with it though.
Yeah, he be saying shit like, yo, the reason why your father died when you were so young is because when he had you, he realized how much of a failure he was for having you, so he wanted to end his life and not have to live with the shame anymore.
Captain Charisma for you.
Captain Fuck Your Feelings is what he's on now.
Mhm.
But I'm liking it though. I don't know about Edge going to AEW. It's gonna be weird. I will admit it's gonna be weird if he does go there.
It would. Oh, it would.
But who knows? I mean, Brian Danielson went there a few years ago. Adam Cole and all those guys. Hell, even Mark Henry and Big Show went there.
Yeah. Just a lot of people that went there who we never said ourselves. I mean, I don't. We'll see them there, but they ended up being there. So
Yeah, these are people
yeah,
these are people who you thought were like lifers, like WWE lifers, and then it just turned out that way. Yeah, but we'll see how it goes. And if he does go there, he could maybe work with Bryan Danielson again. He could work with Omega. He could work with Hangman Adam Page, who's in a feud with Swerve Strickland right now.
Hmm.
And they're going to wrestle at the show at Arthur Ashe Stadium next Wednesday.
Oh, okay. They've been there before.
Yeah, they go there every September, like the middle of September every year. But unfortunately, this year, the ticket sales aren't looking very good right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, just goes back to what you were saying about after All In, their ticket sales have kind of just been declined just a little bit. With that, CM Punk, the CM Punk situation, the ratings as well. So I, I just hope they could recover from this, man. That's all I can say.
I just heard that it's so bad for the ticket sales for this show that they're giving out like buy one, get one free deals.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I never heard of that before for any wrestling promotion.
I'm sure it's happened before. I'm sure WWE's probably even done it before with shows that couldn't sell out.
Oh, probably like in '95.
Like I heard the '97 Royal Rumble. They were doing that kind of stuff, like where they were trying to give away tickets or like do.
Oh, are you serious? Oh my God, are you
Yeah, for the
serious?
'97 Royal Rumble. Yeah, I heard about that because they had a big stadium to fill. So
Oh,
and also it wasn't good at the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So yeah, they had to like really go out of their way to make it look like it was.
Holy crap. Well, damn. I mean, it was a big crowd. A lot of people showed up though, but damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I heard a healthy chunk of the people that were there, they were comp tickets. Like I think the attendance was like 62,000. They said, quote unquote. But
Mhm.
out of those 62,000 people, like I think 14,000 of them got the tickets for free or like got their tickets comped or something.
Wow,
Yeah, but the show looks
crazy.
pretty stacked though. They're gonna have that. They're gonna have that match. They're gonna have Saraya against Tony Storm for the women's title, and they're gonna have Samoa Joe against MJF for the world title.
Nice. Oh yeah, I kind of figured it's the perfect scenario. Come on, it's you have to do Samoa Joe versus MJF, especially after what happened a couple weeks ago. Come on, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, you could tell it was going in that direction. So we'll see how it goes. I don't think MJF is losing the title, but
Yeah.
should still be fun regardless.
Right.
And also, Matt Riddle got into a little incident at JFK Airport this past weekend after flying home from the WWE show in India. Apparently, he said the police officers were like sexually assaulting him or like violating him. And then, according to one officer who was at the scene, like he was like heavily intoxicated and like they were trying to defuse the situation before it got physical. And yeah, it was just a whole ugly thing and just a bad look on his part from what's coming out.
Damn, but like but they assaulted him though. What I don't what
Well, the full details haven't really come out yet, but I think like
how like it's a bad look on him if he's the one who got assault, like that doesn't make any sense. Like it's his fault.
the reason why it looks bad in his part is because apparently he was heavily intoxicated at the time it happened, and also the fact that he got in trouble last year with the wellness policy and got suspended. So that's why I'm saying that like it looks like it's not a good look on his part because maybe his personal problems outside of the ring are getting out of hand. I don't know if you noticed, he's kind of been demoted the last few months. Like he's not really like in the main event
I
mix. He's kind of like
noticed that too. He's kind of just been pushed off to the side a little bit. He doesn't have that same attention or that same push like he did a couple years ago.
yeah. I've just been hearing for like the last year or so that like his personal problems outside of the ring have been getting bad. Like with his divorce, I don't think he sees his kids
Yeah.
apparently, and yeah, the drug problems I guess also. So yeah, all of that combined is I guess like been messing things up for him.
Damn.
It's a shame too because he's a real talented dude. He was like he main
He
evented in
is.
Showdown last year with Rollins. I remember, and then like ever since then it's kind of been downhill.
Yeah, man. And just I knew that even when he was with Randy Orton, I was just like, oh my God, like, he's doing great. And then I was worried a little bit that, well, no, I mean, I remember when Orton got hurt, I felt like, okay, this is his time to shine. And he really did. But then his personal problems got in the way.
Yeah, that and also maybe not having Randy Orton to travel with and be around all the time. Maybe
You definitely know for a fact he would be comforting him during his time. You
that's what I mean. Like
you know that for a fact, especially with everything got going on.
like since Randy Orton's not there to guide him and I guess like be there for him. Maybe like it's like making him easy prey to his personal problems and easy prey to things he shouldn't be
True.
doing. Yeah, but because of this, he was taken off of Raw and also taken off of all the live shows this weekend.
Damn.
And I'm not sure exactly when he's going to
Mm,
be back.
damn.
Hopefully, maybe he'll be back next Monday. Who knows? But it doesn't look
Hopefully.
good. That's what I just said. It doesn't look good considering all the problems that he's been having the last year. Like getting in this kind of situation does not look good, even if it wasn't his fault or whatever.
I know he was intoxicated. It just scratches my head like you're like harassed though and assaulted, but it's just confusing. Just a really big head scratcher.
Yeah, but hopefully he gets it together sooner or later, and hopefully in this situation, when more information comes out about it, it'll maybe prove more of his innocence. But we'll have to wait and see. What he did say is that he's never flying through JFK again. Understandably so.
Wow.
The PWI 500 for 2023 came out today, and the top 10 wrestlers are as follows: number one, Seth Rollins; number two, Roman
Mm.
Reigns; number three, John Moxley; number four, Gunther; number five, Hijo del Vikingo, if I'm pronouncing his name right; number six, MJF; number seven, Okada; number eight, Orange Cassidy; number nine, Josh Alexander; and number 10, Cody Rhodes.
Roman Reigns at number 2.
And John Moxley at
Hmm.
number three. All the Shield members all made the top three.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rollins put out a tweet earlier.
Oh, I saw that with the fists.
Yeah, so it was basically to
I was
represent that.
wondering. I was wondering. Yeah, I was wondering what was the whole point of that because I saw that I was kind of like, I was like, I don't understand. But now since you told me this, now I know the reason why. Do you think Roman's too high? I
I mean,
think
maybe.
number two.
I mean, he's still been the
Look, I'm
champion.
going by his res. I know, but I'm going by the resume right now because that's why I was kind of like for this year. If this was last year, I would have been like, okay, you know what I mean. But this year, I'm going by what's been going on so far. Okay, match with Kevin Owens at Royal Rumble. Great match with Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber the month before. We had a great match with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. I'm not going to get into the ending and all that jazz, but it was a great match. He had the tag match at Night of Champions. I'm just going by what's been going on, and yeah, you're right. He hasn't the last like he hasn't defended the title since WrestleMania. The last time he has now was SummerSlam. That was this past month.
Yeah, and he hasn't been on TV in like 5 weeks. Yeah, he hasn't been on TV in over a month.
Right. Exactly. So that's where I'm kind of like I'm just going by what's been going on so far. I'm just like, you really, I get that you're still the champion, but like when you're the champion, there's responsibilities that come with it. You really just haven't really been doing much. That's my thing. That's where I'm kind of like number two. That's a little bit high, dude. If this was last year, if this was 2021, I would have been like, oh, absolutely. You know what I mean? But I feel like Gunther should have been a little bit higher.
I would have maybe put Gunther over John Moxley, but whatever. Number four is still a pretty good
Not
ranking.
over John Moxley though, but I just, mm,
I think in a way he's had a better year than Moxley has.
yeah, especially what he's done with the Intercontinental title belt now. Man, you made that belt so relevant now to the point like they kept the belt on you for this long. You surpass the record. You beat the record. You beat Honky Tonk's man title reign record. So that right there says a lot.
I would have maybe ranked Cody a little higher.
Me too. That I man, I'm sorry. That was low right there. I don't know about any other of the wrestlers, and I don't really watch a whole lot of Japanese wrestling. Sadly, like I should. But yeah, I think Cody should have been a little bit higher, man. I was like, come on, dude. Like,
Yeah, but props to Orange Cassidy for making it to number eight. He had a good ass year. Those title defenses he had were fucking crazy. I'm kind of sad he doesn't have that belt anymore, honestly. Well, not as sad
mm,
as he is, but
oh. I remember you were very sad about
Yeah, if you see him on TV nowadays, he's like really bummed out.
that.
Yeah, but pretty good list. I like Rollins as number one. He's had a good year for the most part with the match with Logan Paul,
I agree.
winning the title, winning the New World title, and then the feud with Finn Balor and Judgment Day was pretty good. His feud with Nakamura has been solid.
Yes.
I don't know if I would have ranked him number one per se, but whatever it is, I can't really. I'm not knocking
What do you
on
think should have been number one?
him. Shoot, that's a good question. I think Gunther had a good ass year. I think ranking Gunther at number one wouldn't have been a bad look. I wouldn't have been mad at that.
Oh my God! Let's not forget that Gunther, how long he lasted in a Royal Rumble match.
Hour and 10
Yeah,
minutes, the record for the regular Royal Rumble. Yeah, that the 3-way at WrestleMania with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre and breaking the record for Honky Tonk Man. Yeah, he's had a monster year, and it's not even over yet.
it's not.
Yeah, and speaking of and back to Roman real fast, I'm hearing that he's not going to be on Fastlane, obviously, and maybe not even
Mm.
Survivor Series. Even Survivor Series supposedly.
Oh my God! No, no, no! That. Oh my God! I don't care about Fastlane though, but Survivor Series. Oh my God! But the thing is, though, it's like, what could you do though if he was a part of it?
It's just so weird. They put the belt on this dude for another year when he's barely even on TV. He's had like one title
That's what
defense.
I'm saying.
He's had
Right.
one title defense since WrestleMania.
I mean, look, I'm just throw this out here, okay? AJ Styles is currently feuding with Jimmy Uso, correct?
Yes.
That's perfect to put Roman in and have Roman and just AJ just have like a one-time thing for the title at Survivor Series. Boom.
Yeah, and Cody, the last pay per view, who's in a freaking talk show segment. Like he kind of like doesn't really have any direction right now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I guess in a way I get why they did it, but like looking at it as the months have gone on, it's like, bro, like you kept the title on Roman for him to barely even be on TV and barely defend the title.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hmm.
Yeah, April can't come soon enough.
And patience, Diago, patience.
Yes, and speaking of Cody, the other day was him and Brandy's 10-year wedding anniversary. Congratulations to them.
Well, it was. It's been 10 years. Nice. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, good shit. And also, JoJo finally opened up ever since Bray Wyatt passed. She put out an Instagram post the other day, basically talking about how,
Mm.
talking about how much Bray meant to her, the relationship, and how hard it's gonna be to go on without him, and basically until I see you again.
Oh, man.
Yeah, poor girl, man. Poor girl. It
I
sucks this
know.
happened.
With kids, too, man. You wouldn't
Yeah, it's
expect
terrible.
for that to come, and now you got to live your whole life without. That's, man, just a lot to
Sucks,
take.
man.
A lot.
I know his funeral was last week.
It was.
Yeah, his funeral was last week. Apparently, Tony Khan gave a lot of people the day off to go attend the funeral.
Yeah, yeah, I read about that. Yeah, I remember reading about that.
And quoted Amika Rotunda, Bray Wyatt's sister, she put out a post thanking The Rock for like all the help he's been providing for the family the last few weeks, helping them out with groceries and things along those lines. He's been a big
That's
help to
good.
them ever since
That's good.
his passing.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
very good to hear.
shout out to The Rock. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks, and yeah, it still feels very surreal that he's not here anymore, and that it happened so suddenly at that too,
Unexpectedly.
very unexpectedly. I'm hearing Gable Steveson has been officially removed from the NXT roster.
I think I remember hearing about that. Is there a reason?
I think he had that match a couple weeks ago at one of the NXT shows, and it like didn't go well, and his performance wasn't very good from what everybody was saying.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. And just one quick brief CM Punk thing, real fast. It said, according to a source, the Young Bucks were willing to work with CM Punk if he could go 6 months without getting into any incidents or any trouble.
Oh wow.
That shit didn't happen.
Hell no. You know what? There is another thing I want to get into about him.
What?
So yeah, because you know how last week, after CM Punk's termination, everybody was speculating that, oh, like, would WWE bring him back? So Nick Khan came out and said, like, look, he literally just put all the rumors to rest and, like, look, pretty much flat out said, like, look, we appreciate what he has done with the WWE and also his short little run with UFC, but we're not interested. So he just completely closed that down. So far as anybody who's hoping for a CM Punk return or just wondering that's ever going to happen, Nick Khan already just answered your question already.
Yeah, he basically gave the corporate answer. I mean, he could be telling the truth, but it could just be a swerve.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, because these kind of things happen all the time where like they'll say one thing and then next thing you know it ends up happening.
Right.
Yeah, because like for instance, like when Ronda Rousey debuted like a few days before that Royal Rumble, she was saying how she wasn't gonna be there. She was filming a movie somewhere in some other country, and then lo and behold, she showed up.
Right. That is a good point.
And like I said before, I personally don't care if it happens. If it happens, whatever. If it doesn't happen, whatever. But just never say never. I'm not. I'll take Nick Khan's response with a grain of salt for now.
Oh, that's a good way to put it out. If it does happen, I'm gonna be like, oh wow, damn. But then I'm gonna be like, no, no, wait. It's gonna be like this. It's gonna be two dams. It's gonna be damn. We're like, oh my god, surprise, and like, holy crap, this is a good wrestling moment. But then the other dams be like, damn, what's gonna happen moving forward?
But I can definitely see why they wouldn't want him because of obviously the way he left AEW and also the way
Right.
WWE run ended 10 years ago. So I could definitely see why they would not be interested.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Because even if he does come back to WWE, this whole thing is going to happen again. Unless this
Right.
dude like does some soul searching and goes to therapy and like works out whatever issues he has, this whole thing is going to happen all over again.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
like
I'm
I said,
afraid
I'm not
of.
saying that there weren't issues in AEW and like reasons for him to be upset and all that, but the common denominator in all these different, falling outs and all these different incidents is him.
Right.
Yeah, and it's sad because he had it made in AEW. He had his own show, literally a whole show like that was centered around him. He was making a lot of money and all that good stuff, and fucking a.
Yep.
I think in a way this is probably maybe a bigger blow to his ego than the UFC fight a couple years ago.
Oh my god. Oh, sure, without doubt, without a doubt.
I heard a lot of people saying that. I heard a lot of people say that because of how like his UFC run ended, it kind of like put him in a weird headspace where he has to go out of his way to prove how tough he is in certain situations, like when he gets challenged.
He kind of, I remember after that, he disappeared from the spotlight, just from the scene, just for a while. So it really did crush his ego because let's not forget, you didn't just lose the fight. He literally just got pummeled.
Yeah, he lost in like less than 2 minutes.
Right. It wasn't like, oh, it could have went back and forth. Like, oh, like, no, it didn't. It really didn't. It really got to the point where like literally everybody was like poking fun at that situation. I was like, damn, dude, like, man, I remember he literally like disappeared. Like you really didn't hear much of him. You just kind of just being like a regular old dude, just doing normal things, and yeah, that really just did a lot.
Yeah, I know Zelina Vega said she would love to see him in WWE and that he's a really nice guy and all that jazz. And hey, I don't doubt that he's done right by certain people and like been cool with certain people, but those accusations of him not being so nice are also true. Yeah, when you hear certain things about certain people from enough people who have been around them, it's hard to deny them. Whether it's athletes, whether it's wrestlers, whether it's actors, whether it's regular people from around the way. Yeah, like if enough people that you know and enough people that are credible have been around a set person and they all roughly say the same thing, then there's probably some truth to it.
That is true. There's a lot of weight to it, especially when you hear multiple people saying, "Oh, he's this and that," but yeah, that one person or two people that says the opposite. Now, who are you gonna believe?
Yeah, because like speaking of movies, I've heard like multiple hundreds of different stories of Chevy Chase being a huge asshole and he's a dick and a horrible person to work with and all this other jazz. And yeah, like I've heard that story enough times where I'm like, okay, there's probably some truth to that.
Wow.
And on the flip side, I've heard always like nothing but good things about somebody like Keanu Reeves, how he's a nice guy, he's very chill, very mellow. And if you hear enough things about that person, you probably it would be hard not to believe it if you hear it enough times from enough people that have been around them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it bees like that sometimes. But we'll see where he ends up, if anywhere. I know he probably doesn't
Not,
need the money per se. Although John Moxley did say something serious, say something that was kind of opposite of that last year. I remember right before their match last year, like Moxley was cutting a promo on him where he basically said that the only reason why he came back to AEW is because he needed the money.
uh,
And also he said like CM Punk, fragile mind, fragile ego, fragile spirit.
wow.
Yeah, it's funny. He would say that line that, like, I work with fucking children. I work with fucking children. And Conan said it best. Like, he would complain about that, but yet the way he behaved, he acted like the biggest child of them all.
Yep.
All right, but anyway, enough of that negativity. Anything else you want to get into tonight?
Nothing much. They haven't. I know Fastlane is in October on October 7th. Nothing came up on the match card yet, but we know that later down the road will be coming up. And I know me and Kurt will give you that news as we always do because Fastlane's on the horizon. So there's really not nothing much for me to say here.
Me either. I think we've said what we needed to say and broke down what we needed to break down. So until next time, for John Randall, this is Kurt Cadet for another edition of the Clash of the Champions. Take care, God bless, and remember, don't be an asshole in real life or social media because that shit is for the birds.
Is for the birds.
Have a good one, guys.